Welcome back everyone, I hope you're all having a great week. If you're new to my channel, my name's Hannah, also known as Tropical Plant Addict. And today I wanted to try and film a useful video for those that don't have much light in their homes, or you've run out of window space and you're struggling to find places in your home for plants that require like bright or direct light. So I wanted to talk to you about low and medium light plants. And just to confirm, when I'm talking about low and medium light, I'm not talking about no light at all, like a room with no windows or a very dark room. I think the rule is if you can't read a newspaper in the lighting situation, then it's way too dark to keep plants. These plants may be perfect for you if you've got a room with, say, a north-facing window, or if you've got a room that doesn't get much light. So in no particular order, these are my top low to medium light houseplants. I've got some information and some care tips for you. I'm going to refer to my notes because I've written quite a few and I know I'll forget if I don't look at them. So number one, Zingaronias. I absolutely love Zingaronias. They're so beautiful. There's so many different varieties, colours, patterns. They are native to Central and South America, and they're also known as the arrowhead or butterfly plant. So this plant thrives in bright indirect light, but it will also tolerate much lower light conditions, just as long as you make sure that you're giving it less water. So far I own a neon robusta and a mini pixie. My mini pixie I've had for about 6 months, and when I first got it, it was really small and the leaves were very dark. And I'll show you what it's looking like now. So it's pretty big and bushy now. These do require pruning if you want to keep them bushy, because otherwise they'll end up kind of vining off somewhere and becoming a bit straggly. So you can just kind of pinch them back and then they'll grow out bushier. Also, you can train them to grow up a moss pole or something. I'm just going to show you some different varieties of Zingaronias so you can see why I think they're so appealing. This is a Wendlandii, or Wendlandi, however you pronounce it. This one is quite a rare variety and this is on my wish list. The next one is a variegated Zingaronia, which is absolutely stunning. Wouldn't mind one of these either. In fact, I wouldn't mind collecting quite a few of them. And then here we've got a confetti, which is really pretty. This is one of Harley G's Zingaronias. Check out her YouTube channel, she's really good. So the Zingaronium likes a warm and humid environment, and it's best to keep the temperatures above 16 degrees Celsius. In regards to watering, keep the soil slightly moist, and you'll find your Zingaronium will droop a little bit when it's thirsty, which is quite handy really, because that kind of stops you from overwatering it. I rotate all my Zingaronias to make sure that they grow evenly from each side. So that's just a little tip there. The recommended soil for Zingaronias is a rich potting soil with added drainage, such as perlite or something like that. Next up we have the golden pothos, also known as devil's ivy. This is a really popular houseplant, really low maintenance, easy to look after, requires very infrequent watering, which is great. If you're after a trailing plant, this is the one for you. These can vine all over the place and give a really awesome jungly look. The golden pothos seems to thrive in low light conditions, which is brilliant, although you will get less pronounced variegation the lower light that it's in, so just bear that in mind, and it can revert back to green also. This plant absolutely loves humidity, so it's a perfect plant for your bathroom. That's where I keep mine, and mine seems to be thriving. I got mine in July last year, and here you can see how much it's grown just in 6 months. And I've already repotted it once. I used a mix of peat moss, compost and perlite when I repotted it. And I'll link below my ratios for you in the description box. My next top low to medium light plant is the Aglaonema, also known as the Chinese Evergreen. This is an absolutely stunning plant and there's so many varieties to choose from. Some of the leaf patterns on these plants include speckled leaves, blotched, variegated, plain, and I'll show you now some of the varieties so you can see why I love them so much. These plants are really easy to care for as long as you're keeping them in temperatures above 15 degrees Celsius. They tolerate low lighting really well, but the more variegated your plant, the more light it may require. The darker the leaves and stalks, the less light is required, which makes sense. Keep the soil moist, water less in winter, and rotate the plant now and again just to make sure that it grows evenly. The recommended soil for this plant is a peat-based soil mixed with perlite to improve drainage. Let me know if you collect Chinese evergreens. I really want to add some more to my collection very soon. Next up we have the snake plant. The Sansevieria is absolutely striking to look at, but it's such a low maintenance plant. There's so many different varieties and they're absolutely perfect for low light situations. Just bear in mind that the less light they get, the slower they're going to grow. Here's my snake plant that lives in my kitchen, around 6 feet away from an east-facing window. I wanted to show you a few more varieties, and this first one is a compact variety. Apparently this particular variety does a bit better in brighter light, probably because it's got more variegation, but you can keep it in lower light situations. This is one of Nick's photos. He's one of my favourite YouTubers. So if you're not already subscribed, head over to his channel. He really knows his stuff. Here's a snake plant family photo showing off many different varieties. This photo was taken by Cyril Cybernated. I asked him which snake plant he recommends that could get really large and that would be a great statement plant, and he mentioned the whale fin and the Masoniana. Snake plants require infrequent watering and a really good fast draining soil, such as cactus mix combined with potting soil. Water every 2 to 6 weeks, depending on how warm your home is, the light levels and the humidity. Next up we have prayer plants, one of my favourites, as you well know. Got quite a few in my collection. Prayer plants include calatheas, marantas, dromanthes and tinanthes. I absolutely love the fact there's so many different varieties to choose from. They do best in medium light and they're also pet friendly. Here's one of my favourite houseplants, my Calathea orbifolia. I just gave her a trim this morning, so she's looking mighty fine and still massive. I recently uploaded a video on prayer plant care as well, so I'll link that below for you. Most of my prayer plants are in this room, either quite far back from the window or kind of tucked in a corner out of the way of any direct light. This room has a large west-facing window and my Calathea orbifolia sits about 12 feet away from the window, just to give you an idea of how far back. Here's a few pictures for you to see of some different varieties. First up, we've got this awesome variegated maranta from Crazy Plant Guy. He's one of my favourite YouTubers as well. If you haven't already subscribed to him, head over to his channel. He is awesome and he's got the best string of hearts I've ever seen. You have to check it out. Next up, we've got this beautiful Calathea White Star from Kaylee Ellen. Again, she's another one of my favourite YouTubers and she's right here in the UK, so go and check her out. She's got a really impressive collection of plants. And here we've got this stunning Stromanthe Charlie from Nick at Philly Foliage. I'd absolutely love one of those, but I don't think I've seen one of those in the UK before. Make sure you keep your prayer plants out of any really bright light or direct sun. Keep them away from drafts and radiators. They can be pretty fussy. And they also love a warm, humid environment. I do try and keep my humidity above 50%, but at the moment it's around 40%. Keep the soil slightly moist and use room temperature filtered or rainwater. They can be a bit sensitive to the chemicals in tap water. And when I'm repotting my prayer plants, I always use a mix of peat moss, compost and perlite. Next up we have the Latonia, also known as the nerve plant. Such a stunning little plant, but it can be pretty dramatic when it comes to watering. If you own a Latonia, you'll know what I'm talking about, and you probably call yours a drama queen. They absolutely love lots of water and they hate dry soil. So if the soil slightly dries out, they'll just wilt and it looks like they've died. But give it a good water and then they'll just spring back to life after a few hours. I water mine about 2 or 3 times a week, even during the winter. So that shows how thirsty they are. When I repot mine next, I might actually leave out the perlite so that the soil kind of holds onto the moisture a bit longer, and that might help. You wouldn't think that these plants would be suitable for a low to medium light position, but they actually do really well. Latonias also love a warm and humid environment. I find them really easy to take care of, you just have to remember to water them regularly. Also make sure they're not near any drafty windows or next to any heat source such as a radiator. Last but not least, we have the peace lily. These are beautiful low maintenance plants that come in a range of sizes. You can get really compact varieties or you can get huge statement varieties. They're also air purifying, which is a bonus. Here we have a stunning variegated peace lily. I'm quite tempted to get one now after looking at a few pictures of them. And next we have the Sensation, which is certainly a statement plant. It's absolutely stunning. You can place your peace lily in low to bright light, but just bear in mind that it may not flower if it's in low light. It doesn't really bother me because I think the leaves are really pretty on their own anyway. I've had my peace lily for about 5 years and mine's quite a compact variety. I'll show you. Compact and cute. I divided mine up last summer because it got really pot bound and it just keeps growing and growing. I'd quite like mine to flower this year, so I'm going to try placing it in a brighter spot and try fertilising it once a month. One nice thing about peace lilies is you know when they're thirsty because they'll start to droop, a little bit like a Latonia but not quite as dramatic. They can be a bit sensitive to tap water like calatheas, so I recommend using rainwater or filtered water. Keep them away from drafts and radiators and fertilise them once a month in the summer to promote flowering. So those were just my top low to medium light houseplants that I currently have in my home. There's so many other plants that are suitable for a low to medium light environment. Here's some more for you. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you found my video useful. Sorry I couldn't go too much into detail on each plant. I would have been here for about an hour otherwise. If you'd like a more thorough video on any particular plant, just let me know in the comments below. Also, if you know any other plants that are good for low to medium light, let us know in the comments below and everyone can have a look. Thanks again for watching and I'll see you all soon. Bye.